Welcome back, guys, to yet another World of Warcraft video on this channel. Today we're, as you can see, on the Dragonflight Alpha yet again. We have just gotten a new build, basically phase 5 of the alpha, and with that we've actually seen that there's a couple of new very interesting things. You know, a new zone, there's a couple new dungeons, and of course what we are particularly very interested in on this channel, but also me especially, are professions. Now, if you haven't seen any of the posts, obviously I'll be leaving the patch notes for everything that we've seen on the alpha. I'll leave it down in the description below, also so you can read everything about the two professions that we have today. The one that we're going to be going over, though, first is going to be engineering. The other one is tailoring, which will be in another video, probably posted a day or two after this one, but that's besides the point. Today we're going to go over engineering. Before we get into it, though, I very much would appreciate if you guys drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel with all the notifications on. And I also want to thank all the patrons, because you guys are making all and everything that I do, along with, you know, obviously the Twitch side as well, but especially the Patreon. The Patreon is doing bits, as some people would say. It's doing really great, and I really appreciate all the support because it helps me out greatly. Now, before we actually get into the whole profession side and actually also engineering, I also want to talk to you guys about a couple other updates that they introduced with the most recent alpha build. As you guys can see, if you've seen any other profession videos from me or anyone else, it actually looks a little bit different. Obviously I'm over here on the right side, but over there on the box, let me point you here, over here, right there, they changed up how everything is shown. They have also put in specific filters that are basically going to make everything a little more clear, a little more visible, that shows us, okay, this one is going to give us levels, this one isn't, right? And then if we go into unlearned, we can see all of the ones that, oh, well, this one is going to give us even more ranks, right? That's going to give us multiple, has a chance to survive a little longer, and all of this stuff. And they've also, you can see the show unlearned has skill up, have materials. You see the different slots for what you want to craft. And then obviously every single expansion. They've changed it up a little bit. And also, additionally, there's the search bar, which is great. I think it looks a little bit more cleaner now with the individual sections here with the different color design. All the text things are the same, but then you have a little indicator on the side whether or not it's something that will give you any skill ups. So besides that, if you guys don't understand how we run through profession lookups right now in the alpha, basically what I do is I go through and take a look at what we have. The whole testing part of it and actually crafting all these items is more of a secondary thing that I do by myself, because obviously that's more alpha related, just to give Blizzard some feedback, see if there's any bugs and things like that. But I want to look and also talk about what we are actually seeing in the profession, so you guys can get an idea of what the profession is going to turn out to be. And what we've seen so far in engineering is it's making a comeback. There is a whole new system, kind of like in alchemy with the whole experimentation thing. You can see that you can make a lot of different parts here, and optional reagents is also something you can see here. Provides the following property: reduces the likelihood of this device's tinker malfunctioning by 10%, right? So these are the tinkers. You can see here, for example, we'll go over one of them. There's a lot of new stuff, I know, but for example, this: place a hidden alarm mode turret on a nearby target location. If an enemy player enters its detection radius, it will alert you of their presence and attempt to defend the area for 30 seconds or until destroyed. So this is basically like a guardian that you can spawn, right? And then there's this one, which doesn't have a description, and this one doesn't have a description, and a lot of these don't have the description, but you get the idea of how these are basically put together. And I think an idea like this, that engineers and tinkerers who can make all these little bish bobs, or, you know, knobs that you could just put ahead and put out, a little guardian here, a little tree here. It all depends on obviously what you want. And of course, we got goggles as well. I actually want to talk about, because as well, you guys can see that we have finishing reagents. You've heard about these before. They're basically just to make your items better. much of the same that we've seen in other professions. But we have goggles as well, which is you know, very great. I love this. They also look very funny. I actually really like how these look. These are, besides the profession gear, these are actually just goggles like we regularly can craft with engineering. So I'm pretty happy with getting goggles yet again. And they are also going to be up at the level as you know, the competitive level. So I think that's pretty cool that people are going to be walking around with that. And then something that is very new to engineering that we have not seen before, as well as the tinker, smaller tinker things, is that for the armor crafting in engineering, you can see that we're going to be able to craft wrists. And these were actually also depicted on the patch notes, and they were saying that we want to have engineering to be able to craft basically wrists of every armor type. And as you can see, there's the cloth, there's the leather, there's the mail and plate. Now obviously it just says 10.0 engineering plate wrist or a 10.0 mail wrist, so they don't have a particular name right this very second. But as you can see, it's the item level 395. These are going to be up at the top level, which is very cool. I think this is very exciting, giving engineering a little bit more to go into. And then of course you have the guns, which is again something that I also really like. And then we have some secondary stats for crafted goggles or bracers, which is wrists, right? So you can put that on these, or you can put that on the goggles. So these are secondary materials for that. So well, it's an optional crafting reagent. So you can see here, provides the following property: allocate the secondary stats of engineering crafted goggles or bracers to mastery. So these are pretty much like, I guess, supposed missives, but they're just specifically for the goggles or the bracers that you can craft. It would be nice to see that as well on the gun, but I don't know whether or not they're actually going to be doing that. It doesn't seem like that at the moment. Other than that, we actually have scopes and ammo. And the first time that I saw this, I was like, oh god, are we getting into a period where we need to buy ammo again for hunters or being able to use guns? But no, that is not the case. But as you can see, these are basically just unused consumables. You can see permanently enchants a ranged weapon to sometimes increase the secondary stat by 295 based on the type of creature you're attacking. And you know, then there's some enchants a ranged weapon to grant 263 split between your highest and lowest secondary stats after you stand still. So it's basically just like scopes like we've had before, enchants to your bows, weapons, guns, whatever it is. So I think these are pretty cool too. I don't know how good they're going to be. Obviously, we haven't done sims on it yet, but that is cool. And then a little fun addition here in engineering as well is we see fireworks. Fireworks is something that I just think it's fun. I think it's fun that engineering gets the opportunity to make these, and then they've all obviously also done them for the each specific Dragonflight, and I think that's fun. I think it's a good little addition. Now we're getting back into explosives for engineering as well, and as you can see, there are quite a lot of different explosives. So I am really interested in seeing what happens here. But you can see this one, for example, I win button MK10, right? Press the button to call in an airstrike at the designated location, dealing 88,000 to all enemies in the strike zone. It's only usable outdoors, so this is more like a world PvP thing, or if you're trying to kill some mobs. It's a 1-day cooldown, but still, 88,000, that's a lot of HP. You can see me right here at level 62. I have 36,000 experience, right? So, or 8 HP, I mean. So it's pretty wild how much this one does, and it makes sense. It's a 1-day cooldown. But, you know, it's pretty simple. All of these are just simply different explosions or different explosives, right? You have a suspiciously ticking crate and a suspiciously silent crate, a sticky warp grenade, a easy throw gravitational displacer again, easy throw. I don't know what the easy throw means, but either way, I think this is fun, you know, and I'm sure these are going to have a lot of great uses in open world content. Now then again, we are going to be able to look at some devices here. And this is pretty much also in the new thing, kind of like the Tinker. It says here, load your cartomancy cannon with a faded fortune card and fire towards a friendly player. So these are almost more over on the cosmetic side. Obviously, you can see that it's a toy, and some of these things are not put in yet. That's also a toy, and there's giggle goggles. It's gonna be. It perceived the world as though as though it were ruled by gnolls. So I have a feeling that this is probably going to make everything look like gnolls, or maybe yourself. And obviously the wormhole generators, set throttle, soul inhaler. There's a lot of interesting things here. I'm just saying that these are very fun. It's nice that there's a lot of consumables that are more cosmetic. But also something like this, right? Frighten a dead ally with the threat of a powerful electric shock, restoring them to life with 35% health and 10% mana. Sometimes you fail to make a compelling case. So basically what that means is this is a battle rest, but sometimes it might not work. And I think that's fun. But we don't know how well that's going to actually work. We have an item called Help here, which is a signal flare. I just think these are fun. You know, there's portable alchemy table, portable engineering table. These are fun. I think this is good. I think this is a good addition to engineering. And obviously we have a bunch of profession equipment, like pretty much every single crafting profession has. But we got engineering, and then obviously we got some skinning potential, and also some mining stuff. Bottomless mire slush or satchel, however we're supposed to say that. But some mining stuff, there's some fishing stuff, there's some skinning stuff, obviously engineering stuff, and yeah, there's a lot of interesting things. I think it's nice that they work together like this. And then there's also robotics here, which is fun. There are basically just 2 crafted pets, which are mechanical ducks. Do I really have to say anything else? I don't think I do. You know, I really don't think I do. I'm pretty happy. This one is actually not a pet. This one is an unused consumable. It says activate a robotic duckling that wanders around annoying your enemies before self-destructing for 28,000 fire damage split between all enemies. And damage is increased for each enemy struck, up to 5 enemies. This is interesting how much this is potentially going to do in damage. It's also a 5-minute cooldown. So it seems like if you're an engineer, you're going to be having a lot of consumables randomly just going pew, 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 pew. I don't know. It's fun. But that's how engineering is looking. You know, obviously there's a lot more... It definitely seems like there's a lot more fun parts of engineering instead of only actual good parts that people are going to buy. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. That could also be a very, very good thing. But I think, honestly, engineering looks pretty good so far. Some more explanation on a lot of these to actually make them work would be nice, because all of them don't have a description. Oh, no, now some of them does. You can see reveal a flamethrower to deal 2,600 fire damage over 0.5 seconds. Or every 0.5 seconds over 6 seconds. So these are very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how these actually end up working. Because as I've understood it, you're going to be able to basically make these tinker things and then put them into, as you can see, a blue punch card socket. So the blue punch card socket would be one of these, right? A blue punch card. So either one of these, you're going to be able to put that into your goggles and use that as an optional reagent. I mean, that's cool. It's a great addition. We'll see how it turns out. But yeah, that's going to be it for engineering. If you guys have any questions, if there's anything that you want me to look at or test, let me know down in the comments below. And also, if you did make it far, or well, if you did make it this far in the video, also make sure that you type duck down in the comments below. I appreciate it. But thank you guys for watching the video, and until the next one. See you guys.